We are entering one of the most powerful, intense, potent, and chaotic eclipse seasons of our entire lifetime, and starting us off on March 14th, we're having a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and I'm calling this a blind date with destiny. We have no idea what's coming, we have no idea the changes that are about to happen, but we just have to step back and see where fate wants us to go. There is something bigger than you that is guiding everything that's going on in your life right now, and we have no control. All we know is that we just have to go with it, and that's all you can do right now, is just go with it, whatever's coming up, whatever is surfacing because of this eclipse, because this is what the eclipse season's all about. It's about, they literally come in, wipe the slate clean, bring up everything that needs to be faced. And with this being a south node eclipse, this is about stuff from the past coming back, stuff from the past resurfacing, past life lessons resurfacing, things that we haven't learnt yet are coming back around for us to finally learn them and finally integrate them. And with 2 retrogrades happening in this eclipse season as well, it's a lot of past stuff, a lot of past connections, past opportunities, even past talents, gifts, abilities that you have forgotten and left behind. Maybe it's time for you to integrate that back in. Maybe there's some connections and people that you can integrate back in, or it's a full cut, it's a full ending under this full moon eclipse. You need to use your discernment to see which one is which, because some things you're going to be fully cutting off. With the south node, it's about endings and culmination points, but it's also about integrating things that are going to serve us for our life moving forward. This eclipse is bringing some major life-changing experiences, and these shifts and changes that are happening now are helping us align with a new path, headed in a completely new direction, especially for people with a lot of mutable sign energy, which is Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. This is going to impact you the most. But with all the other astrological events happening in this eclipse window, it's going to affect all of us. There is some really rare astrological events all happening and aligning at the same time, and this is why astrologers are saying they have never seen anything like this before. As I'm filming this right now, this is on March 12th, there is a Sun-Saturn conjunction happening, which is a Saturn Cazimi, and this is when Saturn is burning in the heart of the sun. This is like a reset point for Saturn, and a reset for how Saturn is influencing our lives. And this is the planet of limitation, restriction, boundaries, and delays, and long-term gratification and hard work. There is a reset, a rebirth going on with this planet. And this is kind of a pre-eclipse activation, because Saturn is opposing the moon in Pisces, and this is all about figuring out where our boundaries are, if there's boundaries that are too loose, or there are some boundaries that we are held too tight, that we're being asked to now let go and loosen up a little bit. And with Venus retrograde as well, that's all about relationships. There's a couple relationships where your boundaries are too loose. For others of you, there's boundaries that are too tight and you need to loosen them up to allow connection and to allow relationships into your life, depending on who you are. With Saturn combust, or Saturn in Cazimi, where Saturn is burning in the heart of the sun, the planet of limitations, structures, foundations, long-term commitments, these structures are starting to crumble in our lives. And this is what eclipses already bring. They already shake our foundations and shake us up. But with this Saturn conjunction to the sun happening 2 days before the eclipse, even more structures are going to be crumbling right now. And with this being a south node eclipse, we're shedding the past, we're shedding old identities, we're shedding old relationships, with Venus retrograde as well. And a lot of structures are crumbling, but this is giving us an amazing opportunity for us to build something better, stronger, more stable, more solid, and more sustainable for the future, because this is what Saturn is all about. It's all about thinking about the long term. It's in it for the long haul. It's in it for the commitment. It's not for the short-term gratification. It's for the long term. And this is where we're heading right now. We're starting to build our foundations stronger, so we can align to this new path and head in this new direction in a stronger, more solid sense of self. because a lot of our past identities, with this full moon being in Virgo, we're having to shed past identities. And with Virgo, it's shedding the perfectionist. Virgo is the perfectionist of the zodiac, and we're having to release that. With Venus retrograde, we're having to release perfectionism in our relationship, in our connections. With Mercury retrograde happening the day after this eclipse, we're having to shed perfectionism around our communication, around conversation, and just let ourselves be human and let people in. If Saturn is too strict with its boundaries, it pushes everyone away, doesn't let these connections or relationships or deep and meaningful conversations come in. And if your boundaries are too loose, then you get taken advantage of. So it's about finding a balance between the two. Virgo is very discerning, which is a beautiful energy to have right now. And so is Saturn. So this full moon eclipse is going to be all about using our discernment and discerning what we're letting go of and what we're keeping and what we're refining and what we're choosing to have stay in our lives. With this being a South Node eclipse, there is definitely something you need to let go of, but you're not letting go of everything. With Venus and Mercury in Aries, in the sign of the ram, it just wants to like wipe out everything. Oh, this is South Node eclipse, I have to let go. I'll just let go everything. I'll just burn all my bridges. That's not what this energy is about. You need to be really discerning and figure out what you're letting go of and what you're letting stay. You also have to be very discerning right now because of the stellium we have in Pisces. We have the Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node all in the sign of Pisces, opposing this full moon in Virgo. And Pisces is very dreamy, very idealistic. It gets stuck in fantasies and illusions and delusions. And this Saturn Cazimi is really helping us snap us back to reality of what is actually possible for us, what is actually real, what are some tangible action steps I can take to make what I want, to make my dreams a reality, because that's what Saturn helps us with. Pisces is the dreamer, Saturn is the bringer, the manifestor, the one that actually makes it happen. And with this Saturn Cazimi, there is something intangible that wants to be made tangible. There's something that wants to be made manifest in like this weekend, the next couple days. And you really need to sit with yourself and discern what is it that you want to manifest? What is it that you want to bring in? Because this Saturn Cazimi is actually helping you manifest it. But with Saturn, it's all about hard work and effort and being committed to it, being dedicated. So you need to understand that this thing isn't just going to just appear in your life. You're going to have to work for it. But this energy is really supporting one of your dreams manifesting and coming into reality. So this eclipse is helping us to initiate changes that are going to have long-lasting, long-term, tangible results. With this Saturn Cazimi happening around this eclipse, this is actually really good energy because we're actually going to see things manifest. It's not going to just be in our heads. It's not going to just be a fantasy anymore. And also, side note, Uranus is also trining this full moon, which is helping us bring some major breakthroughs and figure out how we're going to initiate these changes, how we're going to take these practical action steps to make our dreams a reality. Uranus is going to help us bring those insights and those airy-fairy ideas into reality as well. And with this being a South Node eclipse, we're being asked to bring back and integrate some past talents or gifts or abilities from this past of this life or from our past lifetimes. And Uranus is going to help us figure out some innovative, new, unique ways of how we're going to bring those in and integrate them into our life now, and how we're going to step forward being this new person after we've shed what we've needed to shed, what we've needed to let go of, whether that's connections, other people, whether it's shedding our own identity, things that no longer serve us, for us to step into who we're meant to become. But some of that involves the past. Some of that involves us integrating some of these past lessons or talents or gifts. So please remember that you are not cutting everything out. There's something that you're still integrating. And with Venus retrograde, for a lot of you, it's going to be integrating some past relationship or past connection or friendship or something along those lines. So keep an eye out for that as well. There's a lot of past people and things, events, encounters, situations that are going to trigger memories of the past. So pay attention to everything that's coming up right now. And with Mercury retrograde happening the day after this eclipse, we're having to revise, rethink, redo something. And also something incredibly rare about this eclipse season is that the Mercury retrograde is stationing on the exact same degree as the Aries eclipse that we're having at the end of the month on March 29. The chances of this happening is so rare, like 1 in a gazillion that this would happen. And just when you think things couldn't get any crazier, Venus retrograde back at the start of March also retrograded and stationed on the exact same degree as this coming Aries eclipse at the end of the month, 9 degrees Aries. To have 2 planets stationed on the exact same degree as an eclipse point, this never happens. Never. We have never seen this ever in history. So this is why I'm saying this is such a big, powerful, intense, crazy month and crazy eclipse season, because this is just bizarre energy. So pay attention to what happens this month and what happens under this eclipse energy, because it is a big catalyst, a big transformation, liberation, culmination point that is happening in all our lives right now. And it's all going to manifest differently for all of us, because we are all individually having a blind date with destiny. We cannot call it, we cannot see what's going to happen, but it's going to be one of the most bizarre, crazy, fated, destined months of our entire life, and especially of 2025. So pay attention to everything that happens. And with Saturn Cazimi and Uranus trining this full moon, this is going to be a catalyst for lasting positive change. This is not negative. There is nothing to fear about this eclipse or about this eclipse season. This is all happening for your highest good, like I always say. And we are letting go of what we're meant to let go of, and we're integrating what we're meant to integrate. These past talents, gifts, abilities, these past opportunities coming back around again right on time, these connections coming back around again right on time, either to close it or have some type of reconciliation and healing, whether you bring them back into your life or you have that healing and you let them go. You will have to decide that for yourself. But this is very fated, and there are some destined transitions and changes that we don't have any control over, but we don't need to have any control right now. This is all just about giving it to God, giving it to the universe, leaving it in the hands of the universe. And we don't know what's going on. With this being a South Node eclipse, the South Node is the tail of the dragon. In Chinese astrology, the North Node is the head of the dragon. It knows where it's going. It's heading in a direction. But this is a South Node eclipse. So we're the tail end of the dragon. We cannot rationalize what's going on. We cannot understand. We cannot use our logical mind to figure this out, which Virgo is really going to struggle with, because the sign of this eclipse is Virgo, and it's very analytical. It's an overthinker. It's the people pleaser. It's the perfectionist. It's the one that dots the I's and crosses the T's, but you are not going to be able to use your analytical mind for this one. This is where we just have to trust and surrender, because the North Node is in Pisces, and that's what Pisces is all about, trusting and surrendering to what this energy brings in for us, the people that it brings in, the events and opportunities that come in now. This is the time to just pay attention and take the action that needs to be taken. With Saturn Cazimi, we're being told what's real and what's not, and we're being told what action steps you are meant to take. Also, we have Mars out of its retrograde now, and it's still in Cancer, so it doesn't like being there, but that it's slowly starting to pick up the pace where we are able to initiate something and able to make changes and take a step forward, which we haven't been able to do for a couple months now. So this is really good energy, and this is where we're starting to pick up some momentum, but nothing is going to manifest until these retrogrades end, which is mid-April. So everything's just coming up right now. We're seeing the changes, we're seeing the transitions happening, but nothing is going to be fully set in stone. Nothing's going to be fully resolved or fully ended or fully finished until mid-April. So just pay attention to that. but this is just the time for you to decide which turning point you're going to take. How are you going to pivot, and what direction are you going to move into, and not fully know what's going on and not fully know that direction, but just trust and let the energies of this eclipse and let the energies of the cosmos take you there. So let yourself be led and guided by the events that are unfolding right now, and let yourself be guided by the external, because all this past stuff is going to come up, whether you like it or not. It is beyond your control. And let those past cycles, those past relationship dynamics with Venus retrograde, all those past lessons, let yourself learn them and integrate them, or cut them out and finally finish them and end them and tie them up in a bow. This is what this eclipse is for. And also with this painting behind me that I painted last year, there could be someone that you're bringing back into your life because your energies are interwoven and connected. Under this Venus retrograde, you can meet your soulmate, or you can let someone go to align with that person that you're meant to align with. You can check out my other videos about the lunar nodes and about the first Pisces eclipse that we had back in September. That was the start of this whole new cycle, and it's about coming into divine union with your partner if that's what you're looking for. And Venus retrograde could really make that clear over the next month and a half of who that person really is, whether that's someone from your past coming back or you're aligning with someone else. But this painting is really showing that your energies are already connected, you're already aligning right now, and you just need to trust that whatever happens will bring you to that person and bring you to that event or bring you to that opportunity. This is what this eclipse is about. It's trusting all the chaos and all the craziness is taking you exactly where you're supposed to be. Use your discernment on what you're doing, whether you're bringing someone back, bringing some talent back, or whether you're finally closing it and letting it go, and surrender to change. This is what you have to start bathing in for the next 18 months, is surrendering to change and surrendering to what fate has in store for you and what the universe has in store for you, because it's better than you can possibly imagine. And all these energies, as crazy and as chaotic as they are right now, are all helping guide you to where you're supposed to be, to help your soul evolve. We are stepping into new life lessons, a new path, a new direction now for our soul evolution. So this is all serving us. So now is really just the time to be open and receptive and open our arms nice and wide to all this stuff that's coming in, and follow the path that is presented to you, even when you have no idea where that's going. And just trust that you are moving into what's aligned with your path and with your destiny. And just trust that the universe knows right now, because we don't. We have no idea. Just trust that spirit knows. And this powerful eclipse is going to reshape your path ahead. So get excited for this blind date with destiny. It's a little bit scary and nerve-wracking. There's going to be a lot of shake-ups and turning points, but it's all destined, it's all fated. And Amor, Fati, or whatever the saying is, love of fate. Trust in fate, trust in the universe, and it will lead you exactly where you're supposed to go. I hope this video helps, and send you guys all my love.